Okay, so today's lesson is going to be on solving equations. We're using pages 146 through 152 for this very first part. And I'm going to go through the examples. Now the examples are in the book, so you can look at those also. But I want you to write this down on your own piece of paper. So the very first thing that we're going to do on this equation is we want the variables on the same side. If you notice, we have variables on both sides of the equation right now. But I don't want that. I want it to have the variable by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4d from both sides. If I subtract 4d from both sides, I'm going to end up with this 8 that's going to come straight down. This is going to become 0 equals, and 5d minus 4d is d. You did your first problem. Now, just like the other problems that we've done, you need to check your work. So I place 8 plus 4, I multiply it by 8, equals 5 times 8. I substituted it in. So I have 8 plus 32 equals 40. And I combine the like terms on the left-hand side, and I get 40 equals 40. So yes, I have the correct answer. Okay, go ahead and write this problem down. Now, if you notice on this one, I have variables on both sides, but I also have constants on both sides. So I personally like to move the variables first. Now on this one up above, I didn't go over this at first, but why did I move the 4d instead of the 5d? Well, this is all by itself, so that's why I moved it over to the other side. Well, over on this one, does it matter if I move the 6 in or the 4 in? No, it doesn't. But I'm going to move the 4 in to the other side by subtracting it because it was positive, so the opposite would be subtraction or negative. And the reason I did that, the number one reason I did that, is because when I subtract this, I'm going to get a positive 2n and not a negative 2n. Then, this is just like you've done in the past, and you're going to add 1 to both sides. You are going to get 2n equals negative 4. We are going to divide both sides by a 2. And we are going to get n equals negative 2. Using the exact same equation I had before, the very beginning, I'm going to plug in the negative 2, or the other word, substitute. 6, I substitute in the negative 2, minus 1 equals 4, and again there's an n, so I need to substitute in the negative 2 minus 5. Now I don't need to look at the things above right now, just need to do this problem. So I get negative 12 minus 1, negative 8 minus 5. Do those really equal each other? Well, guess what they do? This comes out to negative 13 on this side and negative 13 on this side. And there we have it. The answer to this equation is n equals negative 2. So, I want you to try it. On page 146, there are two equations. There's the 8a equals 5a plus 21, and there's also the 3x minus 7 equals 8x plus 23. I want you to do these problems, and I want you to put the answer in Edpuzzle. Now that you've done that, I'm going to subtract 5a from both sides, and hopefully that's what you guys did also. I will get a 3a equals 21. You know me and my colors. Gotta switch them up. So I divide both sides by a 3, and I get a equals 7. Now on your piece of paper, did you remember to check your answer? I'm replacing all a's with 7. So a times, try that again, 8 times 7 equals 5 times 7 plus 21. I forgot the parenthesis, must have that. 56 equals 35 plus 21. Do they equal each other? Well, 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. I did get the correct answer, so my answer is a equals 7. On the other one, I hope you also did a very good job. Okay, I have variables on both sides. I also have constants on both sides. Now on this one, I personally am going to move the 3x to the other side. Does it matter? It does not matter. When we do this, I get negative 7 equals 5x plus 23. Then I do as I've always done, and I subtract the 23 from both sides. And after I do that, I get negative 30 equals 5x. I divide both sides by a 5, and I get an answer of negative 6 is equal to x. And I want to make sure that I did that problem correctly, so I plug it back in. 3, I substitute in the negative 6 minus 7 equals 8x. Oh, right there, you have to make sure that you plug in what x equals and not just x. I know the camera just moved, sorry about that. So 8 times negative 6 and then the plus 23. I'm going to move it up a little. So I have negative 18 minus 7 equals negative 48 plus 23. So both of them are negative, so my answer is negative. 8 plus 7 is 15. I carry my 1, so I have negative 25. Over here I have more negatives than I do positive, so my answer is negative. And again, my answer is negative 25. So x does equal negative 6. Okay, on your guided practice. Sorry about that. Your guided practice is on the next page. I have to look and see what page that's on. I believe it's on page 149. Sorry, I am not there. Your guided practice is on 148. And this is one of the problems. Okay, now you'll do the guided practice on page 148. You will do numbers 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to do this in regular pen this time. So I would subtract 5n to the other side. Even though this is coming out negative, I purposely wanted to do this way because that means my variable is by itself. It's isolated now. I divide by negative 3 on both sides, and I get negative 3 is equal to n. I plug it back in. 5 times negative 3 plus 9 equals 2 times negative 3. I get negative 15, plus 9 equals negative 6. This gets negative 6, this gets negative 6, So yes, I have the correct answer. The next one, I would have subtracted a 6y from both sides. I would have gotten y minus 8 equals 1, and added 8 to both sides, and get y equals 9. Check my answer. 7 times 9 minus 8 equals 6 times 9 plus 1. 63 minus 8, 54 plus 1. 13 minus 8, 55 equals 55.